tell her very much. Alice lived in that bacon box on the village green in Little Eaton, which is about 20 minutes outside of Derby City Centre, for 20 odd years. She would move the box around. Sometimes it would be at the quarry, and there are these great stories about her. In fact, if you Google her, you can find a picture of her, and she's sat, huddled in the bacon box, not even big enough to lie down in. You literally have to crouch to get inside. And she's got a little tripod stove. And all her worldly belongings, which is a bit of baccy in front of her, and little bits she's managed to collect. But anyway, as I say, so the story goes, she used to tell fortunes to the kids who were like brave enough to go and speak to old Alice in the box. But instead of being moved on, she kind of became a loved vagrant in the community. People used to take out the leftovers of their dinner, and one family in particular let her in for a bath on Sunday so she could keep herself neat and tidy, and just thought it was the most wonderful story of a community coming together to protect someone fallen on hard times. Maybe a story we might not hear about nowadays, but just such an amazing thing. So anyway, when she finally got caught without that fateful threepence, and I have to tell you this because she was a woman of gumption, was Alice. And quite often in folk music, women don't have gumption. They sort of like get married and then are murdered. That's the only path that they have in traditional song. Sometimes they get to come back as a ghost, but it's little reward. So she had gumption, and when the copper finally caught her without this threepence, he didn't dare take her alone, and he tried to employ some men from the village, but they said, no way, we're not helping you, take Alice, she's one of ours. And so he had to get some fellas from the next village along to come and help him, and she put up such a fight that they ended up, I use the term in the song, carted her off to Shardlow, and just because it was a nice word for saying, being really wrenched from home, but it turns out she was literally carted to Shardlow with a net over her because she was so absolute that she would not go. Anyway, when she was finally there, she spent the last 20 odd years of her life living there and became a really loved member of the community, kind of telling stories and tales and fortunes to people. So it's a lovely thing to be able to be part of sharing her story outside of my lovely home county. Right then, this next tune. I'm on tour at the moment. I release a new album next week. It is my 4th studio album. However, seeing as I've never been to the Isle of Wight before, this may be total news to you, and you may have never heard my songs before. But the point being, I've been at it a while, gang, and I've got some songs that not only new to you, but they're new to me this evening as well. So I'd like to play you one of those now. It's 3 years since I released my last record, and I've been busy with all sorts of projects, this ballet that I mentioned, and I wrote an EP for the Open University and blah blah blah, all this kind of stuff. But I also started a family, and that has been the most wonderful, exciting, beautiful revelation of the past 3 years. So when I tell you that this song is called Sunshine Child, you can probably guess who inspired it for me. However, I hope that it reminds you of someone in your life that you love, be it a child or a partner, a friend or a sibling. It's just a song about when you wouldn't change them for the world, Sunshine child, Samson himself, radiant light, you are infinite love, ancient longing, and golden hair. I heard you singing our song. I knew you'd come. Gentle spirits, dancing soul, touch of your hand. I've got to tell you this story, right? This happened to me once in a gig, apart from it was my own phone in my mum's handbag at the back of the room. And even better, I'm telling you this so as to not embarrass the person with the phone because it happens, I've done it to myself. The best bit was, my ringtone at the time was Gary Newman's Cars. So yeah, I'll leave you with that thought as I continue. So I've got to tell you this one as well, right, so once this happened, I was playing a gig, where was I? Stratford on Avon Folk Club, and a phone went off, and it was a young lad on the front row, and he was absolutely mortified. And he's going, I'm so sorry. He's turning around to the audience finally, I'm so sorry guys, I'm so sorry. And yet he was not sorry enough because he then proceeded to answer the call. And so I thought, oh, you're fair game then. I was like, what are you doing? Embarrassing him in front of the audience, you know, and he went, I'm really sorry, but it's my mum. And then we all had to have a conversation with his mother. It was the strangest experience. Anyway. You'll come to notice during the course of the evening, these tangents happen. I'm so sorry. Warmth of the summer, the sweetest of blues, blues and purples, they remind me of you. Butterfly kisses by the light of the moon, for a lifetime and beyond. I'll be singing a song. I'll be singing a song, my Lord. I will follow your lead. Surrender so sweet. So sweet. This next tune is a traditional one. It was collected in Derbyshire, and it was all about a chicken. So you can tell it's a song of lyrical prowess. So yeah, here we go. Fradley's The Old Brown Hen. Well, he says, me mother to me and my brother, won't you kill that old brown hen? Well, she eats more oats than Jackson's goats and will not lay again. Well, times is hard, we've not much cash, so we'll have her in the pot. So off to catch that old brown hen, me and me brother shot. Well, we chased together, but didn't catch a feather, for she were a wily bot. She hopped around all on the ground like fleas on our old dog. But I caught her in the yard just there, my how she scrat and fought. You'd have thought it were an eagle, not an old brown hen we caught. Well, how does a killer? Says I, and dither me brother says I knows. I seen me mates kill fowl before, and this is how she goes. And he grabbed her by the neck, and he turned 2 times or 3, pulled it tight and turned and smiled as if to say, now see. Well, all in a hurry of feathers and a flurry flung her to the floor. And to our surprise, before our eyes, the funniest thing we saw. The fowl stood up, unscrewed her neck, let out an awful cry, ee That blinking owl ran down the lane and out of sight did fly. Well, strange to relate, but we know it's right next morning in our shed. That bold-necked hen had laid again and waited to be fed. So if your old bod won't do a job, heed now what I say. Tweak a neck and then by heck you'll get eggs every day. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's just a cracking number, isn't it? Pun actually completely intended. Yeah, I learned that from a singer friend of mine called Sarah Matthews when I heard her. I need that song, it's so great, so I hope that you enjoyed it as well. So from the ridiculous to something else entirely. A few years ago now, well, when it was the centenary of the Great War, rightly, the world was awash with acts of commemoration. And I happened to be playing Glastonbury Festival the actual weekend of the centenary, and 1418 now, which are the guys who were responsible for the Weeping Windows of Poppies and installations like that. They commissioned myself and a number of other musicians playing the festival to write songs based on the Great War. And being a bit of a folkie, I feel like I already knew so many songs that summed up the futility and the pain of war, and I just couldn't find that way in as a songwriter. And where I live, it's about half an hour from the National Memorial Arboretum. If you ever find yourself in the Midlands, please take the time. It's the most beautiful acres and acres of parkland. It's got a lovely cafe as well. It's a nice carvery. And my point being, it's not just memorials, you know, you can go and just enjoy a gorgeous day in parkland. Anyway, so I went up there and I just thought I'm going to look around, see what inspires me. And I found the memorial to the 250 odd men who were shot at dawn during the First World War. And it's marked with a 10-12-foot statue of a young man who has been blindfolded. He's been stripped of his rank and they've hung a target over his heart, so they can't possibly miss. And facing him are dead branches coming out of the ground. Each one is marked with the name and the rank, and if they could find it, the age of a man who lost his life in this way. And when you're walking around, it's a really moving place. As you can imagine, you know, you see ages, you know, people in their mid-30s, and you don't have to stretch your imagination far to think about that telegram going home to wives and families. And then there were lads there that weren't even old enough to sign up, and you think about how those mothers and fathers felt when they got the news, not only that they'd gone too young, but they'd also died in such an awful way. And anyway, there was this name there, Robert Lovelace Barker. I'm sure you can see why it stuck with me. Just find this here. Robert Lovelace Barker. And anyway, he was 19, and I wanted to know what had happened to him, why that had happened to him. And when I went away and researched, it became very obvious to me that he'd been a victim of how little we knew about the trauma we were putting these people through. So this is his true story. It's called Lion. Tear the white linen from his sheet line. He won't be sleeping in this bed tonight. I won't tell you again that the moon is sinking, we're running out of time. Hit it gently to his chest line, strip him of rank, and it's straight back to your door. The air is cold, the orders clear now. They shoot Bobby Barker at dawn. They shoot Bobby Barker at dawn. It ain't that he's done much wrong now. He fought like a lion on the song, but he's had it up to here with this war now. He's tired, we can't let him go on. When the orders came to stand up and fight, Bobby lay there with tears in his eyes, shouting and shaking, it's morale that he's breaking. You see, lad, he just didn't try. You see, lad, he just didn't try. The butcher has signed his name on the line. There's nothing now to be done. So pin it close to his heart and let the sad business start. For they shoot Bobby Barker at dawn. They shoot Bobby Barker at dawn. There'll be no last post played today, lad. There'll be no funeral parade. They'll drag Bobby's body away, lad, and dump him in some foreign grave. The morning comes, and in the sound of the guns, a terrible beauty is born. For the lads won't slack when the captain cries attack. For they shot Bobby Barker at dawn. No, the lads won't stop going over the top. For they shot Bobby Barker at dawn.